some of you are off tomorrow, right? No?
No.
Okay. I just took it off.
No.
Okay, so never mind now. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we could establish this meeting, call to order at 5:37 p.m. today, April 6th, correct? Yeah, April 6th. So, yeah, I guess we got quorum, everybody's here, so thank you. All right, so, any citizens' comments, anything?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. All right, I think the minutes were approved online. I think.
Yeah, just in case if you want to relook at them.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, guys. That was just the one with the misspelled word, remember?
Yeah, she corrected it.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so we're good. Yeah, we're good on that. All right, so next is FMP updates, East West and PMSA. I guess Gil Baines first. So, yeah.
Yep. Perkins and Will, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Perkins and Will, we're going first. Do you guys want to share your screen, or you want to go off the
We can go
presentation?
through that, unless there's, we have some other materials, if there's other questions, but
Right.
for now, we should be good with it.
Who do we have online? Anyway?
We have Michael Dalter online,
Yes.
and we have, that's
The
it.
the arrow
Okay.
to change the pages, it won't
Okay,
just flip, so.
okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, great.
All right, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Is this on?
Hey, Mike, can you hear us?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I just turned it on. Can you hear
Okay,
me
I'm
now?
sorry, thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, all right, so this is Perkins and Will's update. All right, so we're gonna start by talking about, give you a brief update on our internship for the summer. And we'll talk a little bit about the access control and security cameras.
Excuse me, Mr. Bennett, I can't see it online. Is it shared online?
Yes, sir.
Maybe ask Mike if he can.
Hey, Mike. Mike, can you hear us?
I can text him. Mike cannot hear or see us. Okay, comma.
There you go. Yes, sir, I can hear you now. Yeah. Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
You want to see that online?
I can't see it, and Mike is saying that he can't hear.
I got to turn on the speaker for that. I know we got anybody in Teams, I'm sorry. But this is online.
I'll ask Mike to check the YouTube feed.
That one is projecting there. That's why I'm not understanding why it's not online.
I wonder if it's one of those things where the YouTube feed is working, but Teams feed, because Mike would be on the Teams feed, not the YouTube. I'm asking him to check YouTube.
Yeah, it's recorded on YouTube, yeah. That's important that that's how we take the minutes. And we can just record it here too. Exactly. And we post, once they're approved, we post the minutes on us.
So YouTube is working.
YouTube is working?
Yeah, so I guess worst comes to worst, if it's just a matter of Mike not being, like, he can just watch on YouTube and
Yeah.
if, Okay.
All right, well, if he wants to talk, he can talk that way.
Hey. Hey, Dr. Henderson, can you hear me?
I can hear.
Yeah, the YouTube feed is working, Teams is not.
Is this unit is powered up?
I'm sorry, yeah, this unit?
No, right there on the bottom.
Oh, no, I got, the cord is missing. For the audio, that's what I was looking for.
That's not a Bluetooth?
It is Bluetooth, however, I don't know what's gonna. Without a connection, it's not gonna come from the laptop, and there's a cable missing. I'm sorry.
Is Mike the only person who joined on Teams?
No, Dr. Henderson is here.
Okay,
Moody is here.
okay.
On Teams. This is new Teams.
Dr. Henderson can hear me, everyone else should be able to hear me online. So I think we should be good, and the YouTube is working, so.
And this is broadcasting through Teams.
Are you able to see the screen share?
Hey, Mr. Moody and Dr. Henderson, can you guys see the presentation on Teams?
It's live. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure.
There you go. It's right there.
Okay, so I think that's my screen, right?
Is that your screen, LT?
I think that's my screen, I'm sharing my screen. That screen
It's
is your screen.
here.
They can see my screen. So
So
we-
whoever's on could share it if he allows it.
Is that computer joined to the meeting? It doesn't look like it.
Which one?
Take this one.
Oh, that's what I need now. That would be it.
There you go.
There it is. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so are we, there's no participants though.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that is either.
So,
Whoever sent the invites.
Was the meeting originally set up
Whoever's the only exit.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Swanson, he's on vacation.
right, there, this one doesn't have any link to
It
join
does-
the Teams meeting.
Right,
Unless-
they want me to give you the meeting ID number so you can join it?
Okay, so how do you do that again? Oh, join with an ID. Okay, yeah. Give me the ID number.
274,
274
226,
226
634,
634
600.
600. Passcode?
The number 8,
Yep.
the letter A, capital A. The number 5, lowercase a, capital Z.
B as in boy.
B as in zebra,
Z.
capital N as in Michelle. And that's it.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah, there you go. Turn that down.
Okay, and share. Which one must be to share? Okay, I'll just share the whole screen. Where's the PDF?
The teams,
Files?
yeah, it was sections on them.
This one?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
For seeing the screen.
Everybody should use their computers.
Say again?
Testing, testing, getting any weird echoes? Mike, can you hear us?
We probably can't get through because of the speaker.
Mike, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear us?
Yes.
Sounds like he's on his cell phone.
I think what's happening is if I unmute this, the computer speaker is picking up the sound, and then the mic picks it up and it starts.
Looping.
So you should be able to talk through the mic and turn the computer down, correct?
Yes.
I had the computer speaker off and muted, but I don't think people on Teams can hear us.
They should be able to get to them. Through the,
Mike, testing, testing.
Can anybody on Teams hear us? Can't hear us.
Again. Sorry.
Do you want to maybe turn those down a bit?
seating plan or, kind of looking from the top down to, and maybe not everything is, we'll be able to, won't be able to put that everywhere, but at least you can put the field house and, this yellow section and blue section,
Yeah, absolutely, and
Yeah,
that's
just-
one thing.
yeah, if you can, I mean.
No, absolutely. That is certainly part of our work with the facility master plan refresh is to develop those documents because it's easier graphically to see,
Right.
something like, secure entry. What does that mean? I mean, we all know where the main entrance is, but what is the area affected? So that is something that we are developing,
Okay.
as we go through, kind of reviewing these, project priorities and developing scopes for them. Which is kind of a good segue into this, last slide. This is a list of, projects that have been mentioned at one time or the other that would be explored as part of the facility master plan refresh, and there are opportunities for the district to again review this list of projects and prioritize any of the ones listed here. As kind of highlighted in that little yellow box, that a lot of these projects are currently in scope development, budget estimation, and then prioritization by the district. So we're working with our partners at Gilbane to develop items for this budget, a budget for these items, because some of these are, auditorium renovations can mean a lot of things, and so we're working with Proviso and our construction manager partners to develop budgets for that.
Great.
So similarly at West, go through a couple of the more sizable items was the idea of a CTE wing expansion. This would be a building addition, essentially infilling the area between the existing auto shop and the recently constructed advanced manufacturing lab.
That parking lot.
What's that?
That parking lot.
That parking lot, correct, yeah. This would allow further expansion of the very popular program at Proviso West. It would also allow the district to collect a lot of the CTE functions that are distributed throughout the facility into a particular area. And it would, just allow a better orientation, better sense of place for the CTE program in that area. Some of the other ones that could be possibly relocated there would be the sewing, the fabric, or fashion, I believe it's called, program,
Yeah,
and the culinary program,
and the pottery programs.
and the pottery program, yeah. So this will allow for a culinary renovation similar to what happened at Proviso East to happen at West.
LT, for Proviso East, I think you only have the culinary, right? For, as part of the CT
No,
and
we
the auto shop.
auto shopping, we have pottery upstairs in room 168.
Mhm.
We have sewing there as well. Room 46,
Yeah.
44.
But nothing like the setup that, as West will have with the new, with this addition to the CT wing with the auto shop right next to it, and then
Correct, yeah.
Machine.
It would really create
Spread
a
out.
really nice collection of CTE functions,
in that
and it
section.
would allow us to provide a culinary lab on par with Proviso East at Proviso West. Some other items here, stadium renovations at Proviso West. Again, looking to upgrade the facility so it's more similar to what was constructed at Proviso East. Provide new artificial field turf in place of the natural turf. The current home grandstand at Proviso West is not accessible. Neither are the toilet room facilities, and so this would be a new concession building to house those items at Proviso West. So essentially, the track would remain, but the stuff in the middle of it and around it would be renovated to match Proviso
This
East.
is the track we just recently renovated 2 years ago.
No, that's the indoor track, so
That's
the
this.
exterior track.
Oh,
This exterior track, yeah, sorry about that,
okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
The third item on here, again, similar to Proviso East, Proviso West has aging galvanized piping. The scope would be very similar, replace the galvanized with new copper, and then renovate the toilet rooms to new finishes and new ADA standards. Again, similar to East, West has a potential project for a secure entry and a welcoming center that would allow the facility to better accommodate students entering into the facility, as well as parents and guests, and give them a little bit more function right where they enter the building. Some other items for Proviso West, replacing the academic wing roofs. This portion of the building currently has a secondary roof, a standing seam metal roof that was installed on top of the original built-up roof. Both of those roof systems would be removed and a new single-ply roofing membrane would be installed. And again, the areas of building we're talking about here are buildings B, C, D, and the admin wing. Continuing, item W6 is kind of a subset of the CTE wing project. So this can be completed independent of the full CTE wing expansion, but it's to renovate an existing classroom space into a new welding lab. Continuing items 7 and 8 here, again, security cameras, access control phase 2. I won't kind of repeat what I said before. I think you probably understand that scope there. Item number 9, fire water main replacement. There is a site fire water loop located at Proviso West, and our understanding from the staff at Proviso West is that this is in need of constant repair and is deteriorating, and so this would be a project to just replace a very large length of it, so that way problems would be resolved.
On that welding lab, is that just preliminary estimate? Because we looked at the capacity, make sure we have enough capacity in our electrical system. Our current electrical online system.
So we have asked Alara to review the electrical and HVAC requirements, which are usually the two biggest concerns with this. And so there would be some electrical we'd have to bring over from the main switchgear room. And there would also be, ventilation is a big item with these welding labs. And so there would be a new, right, yeah, so there'd be a new unit installed as well.
Well, we should have capacity with our switchgear. From the current
From your existing
service.
main electrical service, yes,
Oh.
not necessarily in this area.
Okay.
And the last item for district consideration is a reconstruction of the existing parking lot in place. This would be similar to the other parking lot reconstructions that have happened at West over the past few years. One key item to mention here is that this does not include stormwater management. This is really a maintenance item, so if you have deteriorating pavement, we can rip that out and go back with it. But we are leaving the grades more or less as is. We are not increasing or decreasing the amount of impervious area or anything that would trigger an MWD review. If we did change this project to include stormwater management, we would need to work with our friends at Gilbane to update this budget. Similar to East, there is a large collection of projects that have been suggested as possibilities that also require additional scope development, budget estimation, and prioritization. So I'll give you a few minutes here to kind of read through this list here. If there's anything you had questions on, I'd be more than happy to comment on.
So they're just the additions to what you just showed me?
Right. Not all of these have detailed scopes to go along with them, and so we haven't been able to develop a budget. But as we go through the process, we will work with Gilbane to do that.
Okay, great.
Okay, and then moving to PMSA. Again, some of the main projects that gathered a lot of discussion. The first item was a wellness or physical education center. The one thing that's really lacking at PMSA are dedicated gym facilities for physical education. And so this would construct a building addition in that north lawn area that would allow them to move the PE classes into that space. And there was also the idea of creating it not just simply as a gym, but a wellness center that could include weight training areas, nurses' offices, locker rooms, toilet rooms, perhaps a multi-purpose room to give PMSA a little bit more space in that regard. This project kind of has two corresponding projects that the district can consider. That if the gym spaces are moved out of, or the PE spaces are moved out of the PMSA existing building, jumping to MSA 1B there, it actually allows for approximately 10 right-sized classrooms to be added to the PMSA facility. And so I think that was something that was mentioned quite a bit as a higher priority, is getting more classrooms at PMSA. Similarly, if the physical education wellness center is constructed, and again, this is following the pattern of the original FMP, is that there is the option to also build a small performing arts center attached to that area as well. This will provide space for a theater and some rehearsal spaces. So these are kind of three projects that interact with each other quite a bit, that if the district chooses to pursue this route, we can, continue to develop further and see what are the correlated projects that need to go along with it.
I'm sorry, you
Okay.
did say that this is, I was about to ask that question, because maybe it's been a while. So most of these projects here that you're talking about from East, West, and PMSA now, were they part of the original FMP, or this is something that's been?
The majority of these were part of the FMP. I think a couple of them that were not are generally more the minor projects. I don't know.
Okay. The list of my
Yeah.
notes you
Yeah, I
showed.
mean,
Okay.
Yeah, by
It's been-
by and large, most of these were, especially the big projects like the field house,
Yeah, I remember those,
the CTE facility expansion, and the
Yeah.
physical education center. That was all part of the
Yeah, I remember
original
those,
master
yeah.
plans. That-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be good to point them out, maybe different shade or something, just so.
Yeah, we could put like a little dot or something next to
Yeah,
the ones
this was
that were.
part of the original, yeah, just re-identify.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, PMSA, like the other two facilities, a secure entry project, just to better adapt the facility to security procedures. This is one item that I know has been outstanding for a little while, but HVAC controls project. Currently, I believe the staff there is losing control of the HVAC system, and it needs to be rebalanced. As you know, when you come into this facility here, the doors, yeah. So to be addressing that condition as well as updating controls for the entire facility.
I thought it had to do with the actual balancing of that area.
Right.
So it's more work than just trying to balance whatever docks are within that area or that zone.
It would be an entire building rebalance.
Okay.
So they'd, basically be looking at the amount of air that's supposed to be provided to spaces. Why do we have, incredible negative pressure, right at the entrance and things like that.
Now, this involves putting some kind of dampers or changing duct work, or, I mean, or does it just involve getting somebody out here, and see what, CFM coming out of each section and turn it down here and there?
LT might know
What
better
does
than I
this
am.
involve?
I would, but,
We do need a study.
right.
But we don't have many issues with supplies and returns, but the VAB boxes and all the controls, all that need to be updated. We have no control to open them 20%, 30%. Most of the time, every other day, if it get warm outside, we go open it up 20%. When it get cold outside, we go back and open it up 100% to make sure we're getting proper airflow to that space. But the supply and returns, those, we have a few issues because additional office spaces have been chopped up into multiple offices, but we don't have a ton of that. Like this space here would need no reconfiguration related to the supply and the return.
So you're saying that a new access control system would take care of most of that, or do we have to actually go into that ductwork and install dampers or motorized dampers with sensors to make sure that we're able to adjust the airflow, either the intake or return or supply?
You will need
Because
you will need all the dampeners and all the VAB boxes. You need the entire BAS system need to be upgraded, including the graphics.
Because I know since I've been here, is this the second time we're upgrading that access controls?
No.
Or were we talking about access to
Or
the building?
HVAC controls.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
before it was building access. Remember a few years back, we were talking about access controls as well.
No, that was this. That was
So we
the
never
did this.
okay.
We got really close to doing it, and we pulled the plug on
Oh, so it's one of those, okay.
Yeah, this item is hung around for a couple of
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, it's an issue, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, last few items at PMSA. One is kind of just generically referred to as existing floor plans, and this is something that when we provide a diagram, kind of see these areas. But there's a number of spaces around PMSA that when we did our walk with district administration that were identified as underutilized, that can be renovated either into classrooms or additional classroom support spaces. Next one was the idea of creating a robotics lab at PMSA. There's a very popular robotics program here in the district, and the idea of creating, kind of like we did at West, where we have a really nice public-facing advanced manufacturing, or East with the culinary and the auto shop, is creating something for PMSA like that. And so the idea of creating a robotics lab became suggested for consideration. And then the final two items here, again, just continuing the same that's going on. The other two facilities, the security cameras and the access control. As you can see, for PMSA, there's not much scope here for the phase 2 of access control. Most of that was completed in phase 1.
I have a question. Do we have in this school LT in any class that teach kids, like, what's that, Revit or CAD? Do we have
Drawings, architectural.
architect? No, like an architectural, like if you go to college, get an architectural certificate, you need to take Revit 1 and 2, CAD, all the outer works. No, it's not outer works, is it?
Yeah, we just got drafting, drawing,
Autodesk.
technical drawing.
Yeah, because they use that also for robotics and stuff. Do we have
Yeah,
something like that in the school?
I
I'm
don't-
saying because, most of if there were some kids that were interested in an internship with Perkins and Will, it would be good if they had a class like that.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm saying because if you're going to do a robotics lab, you're going to have computers in there. Right?
Yes.
Might as well, you could probably do something with, kind of introduction to architecture. So they could use the same computers and labs too.
Yeah.
It's just a thought.
Yeah, I have to do a little research on that academic piece, but I'm not certain that we have drafting, but it would shock me if we didn't.
Well, it's mostly on computers now. I mean, if you could reach out to Tryon College and reach out to their program, it's just a big room with a bunch of computers and an instructor that knows architecture.
I say we make everyone go back to T-squares and
Well,
lead pencils and.
No, they actually do start that.
Yeah.
Remember, I think you had to go back, the only architecture schools back in a long time was France, right? You had to go to France to actually learn architecture. Before they brought it to the United States and then just everybody does it now. But I think it was that you had to go to France to learn architecture a long time ago. Yeah.
My alma mater, University of
Look at
Illinois,
us,
is the
yeah.
first school of architecture in the country.
No.
So. All right, then yeah, PMSA, again, like the other facilities, has a list of projects that we're continuing to study and hope to develop scopes, budgets, and get district prioritization for these items as well.
Great, thank you.
So, then we just have one last item here. Just want to talk about the potential for preparing for solar power for Proviso East and just making sure that the facility is future ready. And so what we're proposing that the district can consider here is providing some conduits and pull strings that would connect the roof of Proviso East to the main electrical room. And this would ensure that if solar power were installed at Proviso East on the roof in the future, that the ensuing construction would be less invasive than having to do it just as its own standalone project. Since Gilbane and their contractors will be in this facility over the summer, it could be an opportunity to just future ready the district for it. Any subsequent work, like inverters or connections to the electrical distribution grid, would happen at the time of the solar panel installation.
Yeah, it's a good idea, yeah. I mean, if the budget doesn't, or we don't get something moving, at least we have the infrastructure, especially, I would like to do that when the parking lots were getting done, but unfortunately, with the EV chargers and stuff like that, they could have been done during the parking lot phase. But, yeah, definitely it's a great idea.
Well, then that concludes our presentation. If you have any other questions, comments?
No, just, kind of more of a diagrammatical view of what.
Of those projects.
About those projects, just so we could, if you don't know a lot about construction, you really don't know unless you get, kind of a picture of it. And, just kind of like when you do a reflective seating plan where you put colors into the rooms or sections, so they'll know the whole blue section was got done.
Mm-hmm.
The blue, yellow section is what we're proposing, and then the orange or green section is what, some of the extra projects. If you can, I know some,
Absolutely.
when you mention these projects, you really can't do that because it's not talking about a general, it's talking about the area in general, not just a section, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, great, thanks, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
All right. the Gilbane presentation for our construction management update. I'll let Tom give an update on punch list progress.
Okay, yep, update on the punch list progress here. First time on their D3 controls. Commissioning agent is in the process right now of vetting out and reviewing the graphics elements of the controls. I actually got a preliminary response back today that we're in the process of reviewing. Once that's completed, that's when the training will go ahead and get scheduled. Proviso East fencing. I had a great collaborative meeting with the design team and the contractor. We have a remedy that we're looking to move forward with. The expectation is that it's going to occur first of the summer, once the parking lot kind of clears out a little bit to grant some access. Ponding and Proviso East parking lot. I received an email actually today with a recommendation from Abbey Paving what their proposed solutions are going to be in those areas. We will review it internally as well as with the design team in the district, and then look to get that scheduled. The likelihood is that's something else that will be remedied and completed over summer when there's no traffic in the area. 2022 project punch list, doors, Proviso East. Again, all the doors and frames have been installed. The only thing that's outstanding right now are the hardware cores, which we are working alongside the district right now to get resolution on those cores to get them delivered and installed. Generator, tomorrow, that generator is going to be placed on the pad. So it'll be a big hurdle that'll have been taken care of and seen to completion. Again, termination-wise, we can't do anything with that until summertime, but that generator will be placed on the pad tomorrow. And the last item on here, the curbs at Proviso West. The contractor has given us a proposed solution that has gone through review with the design team. There has been some requests from the design team that we were forwarded on to the contractor relative to identifying other areas that have been remedied similarly. So we're working with them right now to get that response so we can investigate and take a look at those remedies prior to starting it here at West. Any questions on these?
Yeah, I just got a comment on the generator. I know that I work a lot with installations out in the exterior. Most of our projects, when we do projects, we require that you do stainless steel on all hardwood. Because a lot of electricians or contractors come, they'll use that electro-galvanized, that shiny bluish kind of looking. Those things only have a life use of 7 years. So I suggest, that's just my suggestion, that anything and everything, any piece of hardware out on that pad which is outside, any strut has to be electro-galvanized. I mean, stainless steel. Well, not, it could be galvanized steel for the strut, but any hardware out there should be stainless steel or hot bit galvanized. I don't know if you guys been down to, and I say this all the time, through McDonald's drive-thrus, and you look at the conduits on the walls, and everything's all corroded because nobody takes the time, not even the inspector, takes the time to say that's not, it's not listed for use. You can't use electro-galvanized outside. This is supposed to be a project for 50 years. You have to do stainless steel on the hardware at least. So that's something that, especially this generator's outside and we want it to last over 30 years, you need to use stainless steel hot dip galvanized, which has a life use of 25 to 30 years. And that's just my recommendation because I've seen a lot of generator installs outside and 3 years later all the screws, nuts, bolts are all rusted out. So when you got to go do a repair, you got to cut it off. So why not use the stainless steel hot dip galvanized, which is code compliant, or it's a code violation if they use the electro galvanized because it's not listed for use for the amount of years it's going to last out there. It's just a recommendation, but if it's going to be installed in our schools, I suggest we use what's listed for outside use, that it's going to last as long as the generator is, not 7 years like the electro galvanized that comes pre-packaged that you could use outside. If you do your homework, 7 years on electro galvanized, that's it. You have to use stainless steel 25 and have that is 30. So just a recommendation for the generator outside.
So we can just take a look at the scope and then provide an update at the next meeting of what that looks like. If there's an upcharge for...
It shouldn't be an upcharge because it should be, say, listed and labeled for use. Listed and labeled for use means it has to last the lifespan of the project. So it's really up to you guys to go out there and say, this is not listed in label to last for 30 years. You got electro galvanized, replace it. You know, code, NEC code says that, 110.3B.
I will look specifically for the generator, but our default for exterior steel is hot dip galvanized, any lintels, any exterior steel.
Okay, so that's it,
hot dip
yeah.
galvanized.
Yeah, so yeah, you just gotta look out, make sure they use the gray looking, not the bluish looking. So it's really up to whoever does our inspection to make sure, because they'll use the hot dip galvanized. I mean, they'll use the electro galvanized, sorry. And I deal with this every single day, so that's something just comes to mind.
As soon as we get out of this meeting, I will forward an email to my project engineer and make sure that when we're...
Because I would just walk in the building over here, and I saw those two LBs installed over there. Even those LBs that come in there, the screws, they have to be replaced to stainless steel, because those are, and contractors hate it because, hey, this is the way they sold it. You gotta change it. I bet you if I go out there right now, it's not stainless steel out there. And that's over here by the parking lot.
Right.
So any installation outside in my building should be stainless steel, hot dip galvanized, no electro galvanized.
We'll check this.
Because the contractors are famous for that. They think, yeah, you could use it outside. It is ready for outside, but the lifespan is only 7 years. That's the issue. So just keep that in mind. And that's all had to do with the design, and Perkins are doing, stating it in our specs, that any use outside should be listed for use, or it should be stainless steel or hot dip galvanized. And you spot a bluish looking color for the electro galvanized, they have to change it. It'll give us, it'll last longer. It'll last the life of the generator. But anyway,
Will do.
thank you.
Bidding and procurement update. We are going to approval this month for the final clean work at Proviso East High School. Those bids were open on March 2nd of 2023, with the scope review taking place on March 3rd, 2023. The RTA was issued beginning of this week, last week. Access controls phase 2. Bid documents were received on March 28th of 2023. We are currently on the street with bidders as we speak. The bid due date right now is for April 27th, 2023, with the expectation to go to the May 9th District 209 board meeting. The advertisement was placed in the Chicago Tribune as well as the Forest Park Review for that particular item. Security camera work, again, that was highlighted by the Perkins and Will team, that they are coming towards the conclusion of the design process with a couple walkthroughs. The anticipation is to get the bid documents in May. Bid due date would probably be roughly a month following receipt of those documents, with the expectation likely being July 2023 board meeting. Some procurement updates for bid package 23S, which was the pre-purchase for the VUV units at Proviso West. We're still expecting the anticipated delivery dates to occur between June 19th and June 30th, with the installation remaining to be scheduled for July 3rd, 2023. Track equipment for Proviso East, there was a partial delivery of the track equipment that occurred on March 27th. We just kind of highlighted a handful of the items that were delivered. We're in the process right now of getting an update from both the manufacturer and the contractor to find out the status and delivery date for the remaining items that have not been provided. Once we get that update, we'll provide notification to the district.
Can I ask you a question for you?
Yep.
So, what is your process for estimating these jobs once Perkins and Will has the drawings ready? Do you have an engineering department or estimating department? Remember we had that issue with the estimates back in a few months ago. So what is your process once you receive completed drawings, 100% drawings, or are they 100% or are they just sometimes 60 or 70?
So we have a full service estimating department that is in-house for Gilbane. Depending on the release of the drawings, really dictates how far along we are in the drawings. We typically estimate any particular project at least 2 to 3 times before the project hits the street. That may be at a conceptual phase, so a schematic phase, then at a design development, we typically get like a 50% set for DDs, and then we will get a construction set. We also estimate the construction set in addition to putting it out on the street for what we'll call final bids or real-time pricing. So yes, we estimate several times the projects before they actually hit the street for proposal.
And you use a type of estimating, historical or
Correct.
some or?
No, we use a variety of tools for our estimating. We currently use a Destiny, it's called Destiny, which is our software in order to do estimating. In addition to, we'll call it historical pricing, current prices in the market. As we are a K-12 builder in the Chicagoland area, we've got pricing from projects in and around this district that we're able to use. For example, for the pools, we've done several of them in the last 6 months, and so we're able to provide that real-time, this is what it just costs to do a pool of similar size and scope at a neighboring district or within a 30-mile radius of, Proviso.
Okay, and because you are our construction management at risk, correct?
Same risk.
So we have the availability to ask you for those, for the samples you guys use, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's samples for other, as long as it's not a confidential.
Well, no. I mean, if it's a public school, it's got a public bid. So,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's not, yeah. Okay, I'm just wondering, yeah, okay,
Definitely.
thank you.
All right. I think we have a couple more items. Really quickly, student engagement. We are still actively looking for internship applicants. As of yesterday, we now had 2 applicants apply for the program, so we will start to have conversations with them. We've extended the deadline to April 15th in an effort to make sure that everyone in the Proviso Township area knows about the opportunity, and so that we can get them on board to join the rest of our college interns starting June 19th for this opportunity. We have proposed a career shadow day for April 27th. We are working with the superintendent's office to get the date finalized, but that is the proposed date for the engagement at our downtown office. We are looking to do a safety stand down during Construction Safety Week here in Chicago and actually across the country. It's the first week of May. So we are working with the facilities department to do a session for Construction Safety Week at all 3 campuses during that first week. And then we participated in the college fair on March 30th over at Proviso East, where we provided information about construction trades and field opportunities in addition to careers that students may pursue in order to get into the CM industry. And we advertised the internship at that fair. When we, switching over to our estimates, Perkins & Will was able to provide just a snapshot of some of the items and projects that we are currently working on. We have since updated, or yesterday we updated some of the projects that are proposed for the facilities master plan refresh. This is the document that highlights those items. I will scroll to the summary sheet. It's a pretty extensive estimate. It's 53 pages. Oh.
All the pages are in there too.
Yeah.
For your reference later.
All right, I'm gonna get back to that page. I was trying to make it bigger for those that were online. There we go. There we go. All right. So the estimate is broken down by school and by project. I'm trying to get back to the first page. Bear with me, please.
Now, these estimates are for what?
Here we go. The estimates are for various projects that the district has asked us to take a look at and put some numbers to.
Is this the projects that, for the?
It is the priority projects that are on the list.
Some of them, yes, and some of them are in design as we speak.
Okay.
And so when we talk about in design, it may be a narrative that we're seeking to get from Perkins & Will and the district to help us to understand a little more detail about the project, or if we may be at a point where we're ready for design documents, or in the case of like access controls, we're ready for construction documents. For these particular items that are on the screen, we received either a narrative format or a floor plan that identified what the scope of work was, and the floor plans should be included at the back of this packet if you want to take a look at it. So over at Proviso Math and Science, we put numbers to do a secured entry, CCTV, and then the access controls phase 2 over at PMSA. I won't go through all of the projects, but you can see the list of projects that we put numbers to over at Proviso East, and then the projects that we've put numbers to over at Proviso West. And this was all within, the numbers have been updated in the last week. The total of the construction, if we were to do all of the projects that were listed above, roughly 46 million, I'll say 46.5 million to do all of the projects listed above per our estimate. The remainder of the packet goes on to break down each of the projects and gives more detail about what we included in the estimates for each of them, whether it's escalation or just details about some of our assumptions for the projects. I'll welcome any questions after we've had time to digest some of this information and take a look at it.
Yeah, when you pass out the package, can you pass this out separately? Just because, yeah, just, separately, even though it's part of that, just two packages,
Okay. I believe the rest of the presentation for us is just the detail that's provided in our estimate, along with all of the backup and the drawings associated with the assumptions that we've made, in some cases in the estimates that we've provided. So it's
Can you back up a bit with the renderings?
Sure.
more visual,
Okay.
because, this is good, I mean, I'll look over it, but something where you could, I know Doc gives us the, a paper just like that shows us, you know, how the finances.
Yep.
And it's just a big page, and you know, large page, that's 1.5 pages, and then open it up and it shows you everything.
We can put the summary on the 11 by 17 for distribution.
Okay.
That's
Right,
what it is.
exactly, yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Did you need me to stop sharing, or you can go ahead and share, LT?
I think I can share. Okay.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Tom, you too. So moving on to the building updates here, I'd like to start with Proviso East High School. During spring break, Mr. Hull over Proviso East High School requested a few large scrolling TVs, one on hallway 133, and the other hallway room 127. You can see the electrical components actually installed in the cabinet in the space and poked through the hole, through the wall, behind the TV on the upper right-hand side. That is where the electrical poked out, and data has been ran, and Mr. Swanson and his team will reconfigure these and put them on, I believe, a Hulu device is what was requested from Mr. Hall.
What was that from?
That is for daily communication with students, so that when the students walk past, they know it's a basketball game, a football game, upcoming testing.
Okay, very good.
The next slide here identifies preventative maintenance work completed on the P-trap and the filtration devices on the water coolers over at Proviso East High School. Here's a picture of a failed component in the boiler. The flame signal was found deficient. The team actually did a technical diagnosis over at Proviso East High School and replaced the faulty device. The unit is back up and running and put back online. No further work is required at this time. Over at Proviso East High School on or around March 15th, ComEd came out to assess and terminate electricity to the poles. The construction management team at ComEd was put on notice that the landscaping needs to be repaired upon completion. They agreed, and they will make sure when the poles are removed late April, early May, hopefully, weather permitting, they will send out a restoration crew to make sure that this space is back up to par.
Are these poles the ones in the middle of that track?
Yes, sir.
What were they feeding?
They wasn't feeding anything, so the building by door number 4 was feeding the poles. And the poles were actually giving light to that space. We put new pole lighting in that space, and the old poles, we didn't want to take them down so that you can utilize the entire field.
So they took out the utility poles?
Yes, sir. Over at Proviso West High School, over spring break, E111, the boardroom was painted a platinum color and also highlighted with the school color red. The commons area was also touched up, upper left-hand corner, panther paw, and also the red on the wall there. Also, over at Proviso West, the new sound system went into the main gymnasium. Salvage Pro Audio was there the entire week. Most of these components were from the 1959, I believe he said, so this is original to the building. Obviously, we threw them out, and the new components are there. The system is up and running, and we're excited to use it in the near future. Also, over at Proviso West, preparing for the cooling season. The cooling tower was found rusty because of obvious reasons. Moisture outside, we cleaned the cooling tower. The rust you see on the left and in the middle, the clean component is over on your right. Just a few days ago, we had a large windstorm. The picture on the left shows hanging wires. The pictures on the far right, top and bottom, shows the head that fell off and damaged the vehicle. This work was deemed an emergency. We plan to get components in the next few days to replace this head so that we have light in that parking lot over Proviso West. This picture here shows a pneumatic stack that was found deficient, and also a B&G pump that was not circulating correctly. The team over Proviso West replaced both components, got them back online. Everything is operational as we speak. Moving on to PMSA. Over at PMSA, the generator was bank tested. The unit, the oil was changed, all the preventative maintenance was completed. There's no further work needed at this time. Passed with flying colors.
Do you have a testing schedule? Andy?
Yes.
Every week?
No, it's once a week. It is once a week on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. It cranks up,
Okay.
and then we get it tested by the bank company semi-annually, every 6 weeks, 6 months.
No, I mean, but do you have a written, where somebody actually witnesses, turn it on, turn it off?
It's electronic trend log. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what it fires up every Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
So if I want to go print out all the testing, it'll get it?
And if it does not start up, it sends us a signal, and we get the company on here right away because it's an emergency piece of equipment.
And how many times a year do you physically check it? I mean, you should go up and look at it.
The trend log, yeah, we check the trend log first of the month. Every month.
You go and, how many times a year do you go check the actual kind of preventive maintenance? Like, open it up and look at it, maybe oil leaking?
Semi-annually.
Or semi?
Twice a year. Moving on to Proviso Math and Science. The water coolers over at Math and Science, and also water testing was completed. It was stated that the water smelled like it had chlorine in it. EGSL was out here and tested the water. Nothing came back in the water that was harmful to humans. It can be consumed. We also changed the filter devices on here and cleaned the cooling coils. Over spring break, the handrails and the stairwells were cleaned and repainted. They were pretty scraped up pretty bad. You can see here in the middle here. Standard wear and tear up and down. We did use core cleaner and a primer and painted the rails twice to get a little bit more durability. Also at Math and Science Academy, spring cleaning in the multi-purpose rooms, outside the library, a few other classrooms and labs, stripped and waxed and carpet extracted. Moving on to the cantilevers outside of door number 1 and door number 5. Because of weather permitting, we could not finish this work, but you can see the work is progressing decently. And on the far right, this is going to be the final colors, going to be gray, and we're getting new signage. And it was found that the reason why these were deteriorating because the roofs were bad and it was leaking water inside, causing the unit to fail. That's all I have. Is there any questions about the updates?
No questions. Yes, so I think that's it. There's really no new business besides the one that the questions that I had about the changes for the PowerPoint and
Just one thing related to new business.
Yes.
The survey.
Oh, the survey, yes.
Have that survey out Tuesday, Wednesday to the superintendent's office with the review with you, and then we will share it at that point.
And so we can share it with the board as well. So.
Sure.
Okay, very good. All right, everyone, so I guess we could adjourn. It's actually 6:55. Wish everybody a happy Good Friday if you guys celebrate that day, and we'll see you next month, right? Thank you. Thanks.